What is going on, friends? If you are new to our channel, my name is Summer, my husband's name is Cody, and we built our house out of 2 shipping containers. They are 40-foot high cubes that we put together on a permanent foundation, cut out the middle, welded them together, and made our tiny home. This is still very much a work in progress, and it is a labor of love. But as you can tell, my husband is not currently standing here with me, and that is because if you watched our last video, you know that he had dental surgery, and so he's still in the process of recovery, so you get another video of just me. We've been working on our bathroom laundry combo, and the next big project in there is putting tile flooring down, which he's obviously not in a predicament where he wants to work on tile flooring. So I figured this would be a perfect time to get in front of the camera and give you an updated house tour, talk about what we're doing, talk about the things that we're changing, and just kind of chit chat a little bit about the house and projects that we have coming up in the future.
Baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey. Come on now and take my hand.
We have about 20 acres in total here on the homestead, and a majority of it is fully wooded. We have a beautiful pond that we absolutely love, and we've really only cleared about maybe half an acre of land for our home. That was very intentional. We definitely want to keep the forest and not clear too much land, and make sure that we are leaving plenty of space for creatures and critters to, feel safe and comfortable. Now, I call this the hobby farm homestead, and that is because we have chickens and ducks, and to me that is a hobby farm. Eventually, maybe one day we will get, maybe goats or lambs. I know Cody really wants a horse, but that's definitely way down in the future. Ever since I was a little girl, it's always been a dream of mine to have chickens and ducks, and so that is one of the very first things that we did. Probably not a necessity, however, like I said, it's always been a dream of mine, and they bring me a ton of joy. So as you can see behind me, we have a chicken coop and then our duck coop. We only have 2 ducks, so our duck coop is definitely smaller than the chicken coop, but we are actually about to build them a bigger home here in the near future. So if you watch our channel regularly, then you know that Cody has been building up the land up here to put a shipping container shop on. It is his dream shop. We are going to be putting 2 containers side by side on their own set of foundation, slab in the middle, and then kind of like a barn style roof on top. That way he can have somewhere to tinker. He is a mechanic by trade, so he loves to work on old cars, build Jeeps, do all those sorts of things, and so that is something that he's been working on. We live in a very hilly area. It's a steady downslope out here, therefore to be able to pour a slab, there's a lot of foundation work and a lot of dirt work that goes into it. So he's been kind of working on that in his free time, and then we're hoping to start tackling that project soon. Probably we're thinking about December is when we're really going to dig deep into that. Well, a question that we get often is why shipping containers? Obviously, we've built all of our structures out of containers, and so I know that Cody has tackled this question for himself in other videos, but for me, it was just kind of an idea one day that he had mentioned to me, and then he started to do more research on it, and then we just kind of ran with it. We lived out of state at the time that we purchased this property, and we knew that we wanted to build something completely on our own. We knew that we wanted to tackle a huge project and really just see what we were able to accomplish. And we knew that we wanted to be debt-free. And from doing tons of research, we found that shipping containers were probably going to be our best bet. So we figured we would tack a small mother-in-law suite first to see if we liked it, and then, kind of figure out what we wanted to do from there. And so because we lived out of state, we needed a way to transport everything from our other home to here. So we had a shipping container delivered to the property before we even moved, and that's the container that's already up there, that's on a foundation already. So once that was delivered, we shipped all of our stuff down. We were able to jam pack it in that container, and then we just decided, to keep the container trend and roll with it, and it's been great. Like I said, it's definitely been a project of labor and love, and a huge learning curve for both of us. We had dabbled in, a little bit of home renovation, but nothing to the extent that we have done over the past few years, and we've learned a lot about our home. We've learned a lot about each other. It's been great. It's definitely not for everybody. I know that a lot of people are like, why would you ever want to live in something like that? And you know what? The great thing about that is you don't have to. I'm doing it for you. So we absolutely love it. But again, it's not for everybody, and that's completely okay. Like I said just a few minutes ago, it was a really big deal for us when starting this project that we had the goal of being debt-free. So being completely off-grid is the #1 way to accomplish that, because then you have less bills. You don't have to pay for electricity, you don't have to pay for water and such things. So we are completely off-grid. We run on solar. Now, we did build our house based on our needs, and so our solar setup is probably a little different than most people's, and I have an entire video dedicated to our solar setup, so I will tag that here if I remember. Other things to note about our home is we don't have a water bill, we don't have a well either. So we have a rainwater catchment system on our pond and a very, very, very intense filtration system, which I believe we have a video about like way in the very beginning whenever we first did that project when we first moved. And so we've definitely done as much as we can with what we have, and then eventually we want to save and potentially get a well in the future. However, they are quite pricey, so keyword is save. And then before we get too far in, I did want to take a really brief second to talk about today's sponsor, Factor. So let's get into it.
Life gets hectic, but eating well doesn't have to be. And that's where Factor comes in. Fresh, never frozen meals delivered straight to your door, or if you're like us, the gate. Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, so you know you're getting something healthy and delicious without any of the hassle. No prepping, no cooking, no cleaning. Just heat and you're ready to go. When Summer had to go out of town for a family emergency, I had a ton of stuff to work on and didn't have time to cook or even think about meal prepping. But Factor saved the day. In just 2 minutes, I had a hot, nutritious meal. These meals are made with high-quality ingredients that make you feel your best all day long. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or an easy snack, Factor has me covered. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code CAN'TCONTAINUS50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month. Thank you so much to Factor for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to it.
It is definitely quite sunny now, but before we go inside, I did want to preface by saying that the house is still unfinished, so the kitchen isn't done and the bathroom isn't done. We actually had everything pulled out of the bathroom so that way we could finish it. However, since Cody is he's still recovering from his surgery, I pushed everything back in the bathroom so that way you could kind of get a feel for the layout and what it's going to look like. And then in the next video, when we do tile flooring, everything's coming right back out. I also just recently decorated for Halloween. So I figured it would also be fun to kind of show y'all some of the Halloween decorations we have. I have a ton more. However, since the house is unfinished, I'm very picky and choosy about what I put out. I don't want it to be cluttered. It is a small home and we are still building, so there are building supplies and other things around the house. But all right, let's go inside. When you first come into our home, you walk into the living room and then you follow this way and it goes into our kitchen. I feel like the kitchen is a pretty good size for our square footage. Now, like I said, our kitchen is unfinished. We got these kitchen cabinets for $300 on Facebook Marketplace. And while they do fine for now, it's definitely not what we envisioned, so we will end up changing them, as well as doing a different style countertop, probably one to match our bathroom counter. But for the price that we received these kitchen cabinets, it was not bad, and they're really, really nice. We really like them. For instance, this is my favorite part, which is a Lazy Susan. I love it. So we don't have a formal HVAC system, but we do have a mini split, and then we also have a wood burning stove. I absolutely love our wood burning stove. We had a different one prior to this, but it really just did not do a good job about keeping our home warm all night long. This one does a fantastic job, and while it was a little pricier, it was definitely a great investment. We went with something a little different for underneath the stove, which I believe it's called flagstone. I could be wrong. We did do a whole video on it, so you'll have to check that out for more specific details. And then we just did kind of like a rock wall behind it. So this sliding glass door is actually probably my favorite feature in our entire home. Number one, because it's really fancy in my opinion. And number two, I love getting my morning coffee standing here and just looking out at the forest. In the winter, when all the leaves are down, you can see all of the deer trampling through the woods. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite feature. I could spend hours looking through this window. Normally, it's super lush and very green out there, but since we've really set into our fall months now, everything's slowly starting to die. The leaves are starting to fall, and so it looks a little dingy and orange, but that's okay. I still like looking back out there. One of the very first projects we did in our home is build this pantry with these custom built shelves. So all of these shelves were built by Cody. We have an entire video on that. We needed a space to put our food. It's really hard to live in a home that you're simultaneously working on because you tend to run out of space. We try to make the most with what we have, and building a pantry was a huge necessity for us because I do a lot of cooking. I really just needed a place to house all of our canned goods and all of our food. Okay, so our kitchen. Our kitchen's probably the space that I spend the most time in. And the reason why we haven't done the kitchen sooner, because I spend so much time in the kitchen, is because I don't know what the heck I want to do with it. I have 50 million and one ideas. I have no idea what's going to stick. And so therefore we just haven't finished the kitchen. My most recent revelation of what I think that I'm going to do is dark wood cabinets, the same marble countertops that are in our bathroom. We're going to put a hot filler off the stove. I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep the L-shaped island or the L-shaped counter instead of doing like a formal island. So that way we can run plumbing for the dogs so they can have their water bowl right here, as well as have an area for appliances. Something really important to me is I don't want a million and one things on my counters like I currently have right now. And so building storage inside the cabinets that you can pull out and use the appliances in there is really important to me to really kind of declutter the kitchen. When you're in a tiny home, so quickly everything can feel cluttered, and so being able to have clean countertops is something that I really want to work towards. Therefore, I think Cody and I are going to end up custom building all of the cabinets, which is going to take quite a bit of time. But that's my most recent revelation and what I think we're going to do. But for now, the kitchen is very functional. It gets plenty of good use. And while it's not the most aesthetically pleasing, it gets the job done. Also, you just cannot beat this view. And then as far as our living room, she's pretty much done. I mean, we do need to add baseboards, but that's gonna be one of the very last things we do in the entire home. So for the most part, our living room is completed. Now let's talk about our bathroom, which if you watch our channel regularly, you know that this is the main thing that we've been working on in our most recent videos, is finishing up the bathroom. We did go with pocket style doors on the entire house because it's a tiny home, you know, you really want to utilize your space, and so pocket doors are a great way to save space. So I love pocket doors. I was really unsure about them in the beginning, but I've grown to love them, and honestly, if we built a bigger house, I'd probably still want pocket doors. I love them. They're not everybody's cup of tea, but they work great for us. So as you can see, our bathroom is very unfinished, but we'll just go ahead and take a deep dive in there. Like I said, all of the stuff in our bathroom was pulled out and put in the living room, like the laundry machine and the counter and countertops. However, for the sake of this video, I just kind of pushed everything back into place so that way you could kind of get a feel for the space and what it's gonna look like. So we made our bathroom a bathroom and laundry combo. So we put this half wall up right in the middle to separate the bathroom space from the laundry space. And this entire area over here is actually going to get custom built-in cabinets to be able to house towels and blankets and all of that good stuff, and it not be just in a laundry basket on our bedroom floor like it currently is right now. For this room, I have been going back and forth about what I wanted. In our most recent video, I painted this whole wall green, and would you be shocked to know that I think I'm actually gonna change the color? Once we put the flooring down in here to kind of see what it was gonna look like, Cody and I both looked at it. We FaceTimed Lydia from Cajun Country Living. She just kind of helps me with the whole design aspect because I'm not very good at that. So we looked at it with her. I also texted Jenna, and then I FaceTimed both of our moms, and I was just like, something doesn't look right. I don't know what's going on. We really don't like it. And so through everybody's opinion, we came to a group consensus that we're actually going to change the color of this wall to this blue that this bathroom cabinet is. We're gonna change the accent color in the entire house, because that's the great thing about building your own house, is you can make changes whenever you want. So the entire house is getting this blue accent color. That's what this wall is gonna be. We're actually going to change this bathroom cabinet out, stain it to match the pantry shelving, and that'll kind of tie everything in this room together. I've shown you the floors in our previous video, and then in our next video, we'll actually be laying the floors, but I think it'll look better. I'm not worried about repainting this wall. Once it's all done, then I'll go in and repaint it. From talking with everybody who has way better design capabilities than I do, I think that's what we're gonna eventually do in here. This wall is going to be this color. This cabinet is going to get replaced with something that has a dark stain. Keep the countertops, put in the flooring that I've already shown you guys, and then add custom built-ins all around here. And that will pretty much complete the bathroom laundry combo build. There are two main ways that you can access our bedroom. Number one, right off the bathroom with a pocket door, of course, or you can access it from the living room. So this is where the magic happens. I'm just kidding. But this is a queen size bed. I feel like it is the perfect size for Cody and I. We are relatively small people, so we don't need a huge king size bed. And then a full size would be just a slightly too small. So the queen works great. I love our bed. It's the most comfiest bed in the entire world. And then we also have storage in the headboard as well as storage underneath the bed. So plenty of storage for our tiny little house. I'd show you our closet, but I think it's kind of messy right now. Let's see. Definitely messy, but we went with the same stain and style shelving that we have in our pantry. Cody built all of the shelving in our closet as well. There's nothing really crazy noteworthy of our bedroom. It's just a normal plain bedroom. I am going to be changing the color of that wall to either the accent color that we're changing in the bathroom, or I might wallpaper it. If you've been here, you know that I really want to wallpaper a wall, and since we didn't do it in the bathroom, I think I'm probably going to do this wall here in our bedroom, as well as the carpet. The carpet's gotta go. It was not a decision made by me. Cody really wanted carpet for at least a little bit, and it's been great, but I'm really tired of it. I'm tired of vacuuming it. I feel like it really messes with our allergies, and having 3 dogs, especially 2 that are long-haired, it collects everything. I feel like it really makes the dust in the house a lot worse than it needs to be. So the carpet's gotta go, and we're actually gonna be doing the same flooring that's in the living room and the bedroom. So we'll eventually get there, but let's finish the bathroom first. All right, guys, I think I covered everything, but if there is anything that I did not touch on, feel free to ask all of your questions in the comments, and we'll try to answer as many as we can. But in true MTV fashion, you've seen the house, you've seen the shop, and you've seen the animals, and now you gotta go. Bye, guys.